the really wild thing about the end-to-end training is that it learns to read, like it can read science, but we never taught it to read. So, yeah, we never taught it what a car was, or what a person was, or a cyclist. It learned what all those things are, what all the objects are on the road, from video, just from watching videos, just like humans. I mean, humans are photons in, controls out. Like the vast majority of information reaching our brain is from our eyes. And you say, well, what's the output? The output is our motor signals to our sort of fingers and mouth in order to communicate. Photons in, controls out. The same is true of the car.
But by looking at the sequence of images, you've agreed with Ilya's discovery recently, where he talked about LLM forming a world model, and basically language is a projection of that world model onto the sequence of letters, and you're saying
it finds order in these things. It finds correlative clusters.
In so doing, it's like understanding something deep about the world.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's beautiful.
That's how our brain works.
Yeah, but it's beautiful.
Photons in, controls out.
Neural nets are able to understand that deep meaning in the world. And so the question is, how far can it go? And it does seem everybody's excited about LLMs. So in the space of self-supervised learning, in the space of text,
yeah,
it seems like there's a deep similarity between that and what Tesla Autopilot is doing. Is it to you basically the same, but
they are
different
converging?
Data?
They are converging.
I wonder who gets there faster, having a deep understanding of the world. Or they just will naturally converge.
They're both headed towards AGI. The Tesla approach is much more compute efficient. It had to be, because we were constrained on this. We only have 100 watts, and an int8 computer, 144 trillion operations per second, which sounds like a lot, but is kind of small potatoes these days. At int8. But it's understanding the world at int8. It's only 256 values.
But there, the path to AGI might have much more significant impact, because it's understanding. It'll faster understand the real world than will LLMs, and therefore be able to integrate with the humans in the real world faster.
They're both going to understand the world, but I think Tesla's approach is fundamentally more compute efficient. It had to be. There was no choice. Like, our brain is very compute efficient, very, very energy efficient. So think of like, what is our brain able to do? There's only about 10 watts of higher brain function, not counting stuff that's just used to control our body. The thinking part of our brain is less than 10 watts. And those 10 watts can still produce a much better novel than a 10 megawatt GPU cluster. So there's a 6 order of magnitude difference there. The AI has thus far gotten to where it is via brute force, just throwing massive amounts of compute and massive amounts of power at it. So this is not where it will end up. In general, with any given technology, you first try to make it work, and then you make it efficient. So I think we'll find over time that these models get smaller, are able to produce sensible output with far less compute, far less power. Tesla is arguably ahead of the game on that front, because we've just been forced to try to understand the world with 100 watts of compute. And there are a bunch of sort of fundamental functions that we kind of forgot to include. So we have to run them in a bunch of things in emulation. We fixed a bunch of those with hardware 4, and then hardware 5 will be even better. But it does appear at this point that the car will be able to drive better than a human, even with hardware 3 and 100 watts of power. And really, if we really optimize it, it could be probably less than 50 watts.